Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2000 Toyota Mark II Qualis. Up front is a 2.5 liter V6, and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Qualis for two reasons. First of all, it's a JDM wagon. We did not get these vehicles here in the United States. We got similar-ish cars, and I'll get into that a little bit later on, but this is still unique and special and something that we didn't get. We didn't get the Mark II, we didn't get the Qualis, we didn't get the wagon of this era, so very, very special. The second reason is the fact that the owner of this car has no idea that I'm filming it. His fiance reached out to me and asked if I would review her fiance's car for their wedding surprise. And so, surprise, Ethan, I am driving your Toyota Mark II here today. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 2.5 liter V6 up at the front. Well, there were two engines available here in the Mark II Qualis. This was the base engine, the 2.5 liter, and it makes about 200 horsepower. However, you could find the 3 liter V6 that made about 215. Now, the 2.5 liter was actually the more popular option because of Japan's displacement laws. The bigger displacement your vehicle is, the more you pay in yearly taxes. And so this was the more affordable option, just as reliable, and with only like 10 to 15 less horsepower, most people didn't really mind. This is a family wagon, not a sports car, so you're not itching for every pony you can get. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 4-speed automatic transmission. It's fine, it's doing the job, no complaints. Works well. Last but not least, about the drivetrain, you can find these in front-wheel drive. However, this particular Mark II Qualis is all-wheel drive. So an all-wheel drive V6 wagon, that's pretty cool and definitely very useful. In my time in Japan, I almost crashed my rental car at least twice because of the snow, so all-wheel drive would have been nice. How does it feel to drive the Mark II Qualis? It's actually very nice. I truly would have believed that this was a Lexus product more than a Toyota product. It is so incredibly smooth on the road. The steering inputs are nice and easy. The throttle response is fine enough. It's not jarring, it's not quick or anything like that. But everything in here is so smooth and dignified and almost relaxing. This is a nice, relaxing automobile, and I love that. It's also good for a daily driver because daily driving a car that agitates you just adds fuel to the fire, no matter what's going on. If you're having a bad day and you're driving down the road and your car is chucking you all around, it just makes your bad day worse. This sort of smooths out the bump. So even if you are having a bad day, sad day, blue day, this kind of takes that worry away. And I like that a lot. Even for a 26-year-old car, this ride is incredibly good. It's not top tier overall, but for the car that's in front of me, this is really, really good. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is fuel, in the center is a speedometer and tachometer, and off to the right is coolant temperature. On the steering wheel, we just get an airbag, but this looks like every steering wheel we got here in the States, so nothing new there. Off to the right, we do have a climate control vent. We have our power mirrors as well as retracting mirrors, so you can fold them in, and the fog light switch. And moving on to the door, we have the lock and unlock, power windows, and a really, really nice fabric here on the door. Very sort of like late 90s, early 2000s. I love this look and pattern, so I'm happy to see it here. Moving into the center, we do get a digital clock. We also get 2 climate control vents and the hazard switch. A radio that has definitely seen better days, and what's funny about it is that the GPS still thinks that it's in Tokyo. Unfortunately, it is not, but they never designed this car to leave the island, so that information just doesn't exist. And then we have our climate controls, blowing nice and cold here on this toasty afternoon. We get AC and auto, very, very nice for the year 2000. We have a little cubby down below that. We have our cigarette lighter and ashtray. Below that, you also get an extra 12-volt outlet. very nice. And the shifter down in the center. Pretty standard shifter. Nothing really too interesting about it, but it works well. And then we do have pop-out cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Toyota Mark II Qualis. And unfortunately it fails. Almost no JDM car has ever passed. Actually, the same year Land Cruiser is the only JDM vehicle I've got to pass the big friggin' bottle test. So to be expected, but very neat that it has cup holders nevertheless. Then we do have a dual opening center console. You can open up the top and the bottom, which is really nice, and it's covered in this nice fabric on top. The seats themselves are also comfortable. They are manually adjusting, but they're nice and they work well. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. Right around the back of the Toyota Qualis, well, Mark II Qualis, and we'll get a quick look at the back seats before stepping in. I love this pattern. It's so late 90s, early 2000s, especially the carpet here, just like gives me so much nostalgia, even though I didn't grow up in Japan, obviously. But very, very cool. We can pull these thingies in there. We can pull the seat forward and then pull this seat down. And we do get some flat loading floor, so very, very cool to see that. But we'll put that back up into place, flip that back up, and take a seat inside. Once we are in the back of the Mark II Qualis, I'm actually really, really impressed. A lot of cars, not only from Japan, but of this size, stature, segment, whatever you want to call it, Camry-ish. Normally, they kind of cheat out on the back seat. I'm 5'11", not a small guy. My head's not hitting the ceiling. My knees are not hitting the seat in front of me. Absolutely fantastic. We also do have an ashtray and 2 cup holders that flip out. Pretty cool how they work like that. So very, very neat. Of course, I love the back seat, and you get tons of visibility as well. You get a grab handle up here too. Overall, very, very happy with this back seat. I was expecting it to be cramped, and it's not, so that's a big win, and I'll take that home with me. Let's talk about the rear cargo space because it is a wagon. I'm sure there's a fair amount, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the Mark II Qualis, big handle found in here, sort of clicky like that, and pull it all the way up. And obviously you get tons of storage back here. So you do get a privacy cover, very, very nice to see that. So some underfloor storage down there as well as up here. A little bit more storage down there. Really, really enjoy to see that. And overall, it's just super, super useful. So not only do you have a good back seat, but you also have great storage space. A family in Tokyo could live their entire life with just this amount of space. Again, Tokyo is, of course, a more compact, smaller, areaed place, and so this is probably a pretty big car for downtown Tokyo, but this is all you really need, and I love that about it. Nice and simple grab handle up here to pull it back down, and that is the storage space on the back of a Mark II Qualis. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I like the look of the Mark II Qualis. I think it looks good. However, it doesn't look that crazy, special, or interesting here in the United States. People might just think that this is a Camry wagon or Corolla wagon. People were pretty used to that at the time. So the reason I point that out is if you're looking to import a car and you want people's heads to break off their necks when they see you coming down the boulevard, this might not be the car to do it. It's very reserved and very neutral, and you have to kind of look twice in order to realize, like, oh, that is something unique and special and different that we didn't get here in the States. I think soccer moms abroad who aren't interested in cars would never bat an eye at something like this. They would just assume it's a car that they haven't heard of, and that's fine by them. So if you are looking to, sort of strut the red carpet, maybe the Mark II Qualis isn't exactly the car to do it in. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Toyota Mark II Qualis here today? Well, it's been a great experience. That ride quality really did blow me away. I love that it's a wagon. I love that it's all-wheel drive. I love that it's right-hand drive and imported. All of that has been really cool. I will say that the Mark II name is slightly controversial. So in the early 90s, the Mark II from Toyota was this sort of big boat rear-wheel drive, sort of like the Cressida or a slightly down version of the Crown, big body, rear-wheel drive, sort of a Regal sedan type situation. Well, when Toyota put the Mark II name onto this, it was a little bit puzzling. It was kind of a Ford Mustang versus Mustang Mach-E situation where this switched to front-wheel drive based, front-wheel or all-wheel drive based, and it was sort of diluting the Mark II name ever so slightly. But they still did give you pretty good options on here, the wagon, the all-wheel drive, all of that together. This is still a fantastic product, but if you look up Toyota Mark II, you might find other vehicles that don't quite match this one. And that's what Toyota did in the late 90s before, unfortunately, retiring the Mark II name. But let's talk about the vehicle at hand. It's lovely. I want one of these so bad. I love these kinds of cars. And Toyota, back in the 90s especially, but also still here today, makes so many different cars. There is a car that they sell in Japan for every niche, every person, every being on earth can have their own car if they want. They have so many different cars over there. Just in the cars that I've driven here in the States that have been imported, there's also the Toyota Caldina, the Toyota Comfort, the Toyota Crown, next to, of course, the Camrys and Corollas. And I think the reason behind that is, A, Japan has a different sort of automotive market, and they can kind of get more niche like that. But the second thing is that Toyota's good at building cars. I don't think I'm breaking any ground by saying that. Toyota is very, very good at building cars. They're good at building powertrains. They're good at building interiors. And when you have a solid foundation like that, when you have a basis for your company, you're able to do a lot of different things. You're able to go out and explore things. And when you have solid sellers like the Camry and Corolla, you can start to spend money on other cars like the Mark II Qualis, like the Caldina, like the Corona, like the Crown. It goes back to that saying, you don't build a house on sand, you build a house on rock. And that's true with relationships, it's true with cars. Starting out on a solid foundation is pinnacle for building anything of substance. Ethan and Annie are getting married. The day that this comes out is their wedding day. And these two individuals care about each other a lot. So much so that Ethan's fiance, now wife, reached out to a YouTuber to have his car filmed as a surprise gift. And of course, I was so excited to do this. But they've built their relationship off of a solid foundation. And so now they are going to have the freedom to do whatever they want, whether they want kids or don't want kids, whether they want to travel, stay here in Illinois, live abroad, experience new jobs, experience new cars, make new memories. They can do all of that because they have a solid foundation. And that's what Toyota has been able to build. Yes, they have good products and bad products. They have good cars and bad cars. But when there's no internal struggle, when there's no power fights going on behind closed doors, like there isn't at Toyota, you can accomplish so much. And that's what this car is here today. Because it was built on a solid foundation, the rest is just the cherries on top. And this has a lot of cherries on top. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Congratulations to Annie and Ethan. I am so happy for you two, and I am so incredibly thankful to be a part of your marriage story. They are absolutely wonderful. Ethan, thank you so much for not taking legal action for me taking your car without your knowledge. And I hope you guys had the most amazing day. But I hope everyone else watching, I hope you guys have an amazing day as well. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Congrats, Ethan and Annie. Take care.